iPad letterers, welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, my name is Karen and I'm here to help you get the most out of your iPad, whether that is with lettering or art or getting your life organized. In today's video, I want to show you how to write neatly on your iPad. You will learn my best tips and tricks of how to improve your handwriting in a surprisingly short period of time. The skills you develop by practicing on the iPad are very transferable to pen and paper. And the beauty of practicing on your iPad is that you won't be wasting any of it. I'm also going to give you the tools to practice your own handwriting in a fun way so that you'll be able to impress your friends and family with your penmanship. There's nothing better than being able to write a handwritten note with confidence to show your loved ones how much you care. As a hand lettering artist, everyone expects me to have great handwriting, but it's not actually true. Calligraphy and lettering are very different from handwriting, and being good at one doesn't necessarily mean that you are great at the other one as well. Since I've started taking bullet journaling more seriously at the start of this year, I've noticed how bad my handwriting got over the years. And I'm kind of embarrassed about it because I've always prided myself on having neat handwriting. I feel like I've cheated by using fonts for my journals just to make them look nice. So now I've decided to do something about it and practice my handwriting much more deliberately to see how much I can improve it and make my journals look beautiful. I find writing very relaxing. The only time it stresses me out is if it doesn't look nice. So let's see what we can do about this. I'm going to share my 5 best tips on how to improve your handwriting. Let's start with the most important tip, and that is having the right tools. Other than an iPad, you will need a good stylus pen, and my favorite by far is the Apple Pencil. But there's also other options to consider, which I have covered in an entirely separate video, which I will link in the description box below. And then I also recommend putting a grip on your Apple Pencil. I have a nimble grip here on my first generation Apple Pencil, and I really like the feel and the thickness of it, but unfortunately it's not very convenient for the second generation Apple Pencil because you have to take it off for charging. So instead I have this silicone sleeve, which is very nice too, and it doesn't prevent the pencil from being charged on the iPad. You might find it helpful to put a screen protector on your iPad because it will create a bit of resistance, which makes it much easier to control your Apple Pencil. And my favorite screen protector is the PaperLike. And then you will also need an app, and you have a few options here. You can just use the Notes app that's on your iPad, or you can use Procreate, which is what I'm using here. But then of course you can also use your bullet journaling apps. So if you're using GoodNotes or Zinnia, these are very good options to practice with as well. And then it's also very important to have the right posture for writing. You can see here, I'm actually turning my page around because I find it more comfortable to write like this. I also like having the whole hand on the iPad. So I recommend that you place the canvas in a position where your whole hand can rest on the iPad. The iPad has palm rejection, so it doesn't matter if you rest your hand on the iPad. As you can see here, there's nothing getting written. And so it makes it much easier to practice like this as well. And then I also recommend that you hold the Apple Pencil towards the front of the pencil because we'll get much better control over your strokes. It doesn't matter so much where you sit or where you have your iPad. More often than not, I actually sit on the couch for practicing, and then I have my iPad on a little iBeanie beanbag, and that's quite comfortable to practice as well. As with most things, practice is everything. I very much encourage you to practice daily, even if it's just for 5 minutes. It's actually very relaxing, and it can really help calm your brain down, which makes it the perfect winding down activity at night. You really want to write super slowly, especially at the start. One of the reasons why your handwriting doesn't look as nice as you would like it to be is because you are writing too fast. I'm used to typing very fast, so when I take notes by hand, I expect to be writing at the same speed, and then my letters get all out of whack and look horrible. That's also what I mean by being deliberate about your practice. Go super slowly to start with, and once you develop the muscle memory in your hand a little bit better, better, you'll notice how you'll be able to write a little faster after a while. And then the fifth tip is to really practice consistent letter shapes. I very much recommend that you don't connect your letters because you'll be able to make them look much neater if you write them separately. What you really want to watch out for is that you have the same angle for all your letters. And then you also want to pay attention to the spacing between your letters and then also between your words. And now you might say, well, this all sounds really good and it makes sense, but how do I practice this? And to help you with your practice, I've made a brand new set of practice sheets. They consist of 7 different files. The first 3 files are for practicing your lowercase letters. And you'll see here it's got step 1, step 2, step 3. And then there's also 3 sheets for uppercase letters. And then there is a final sheet which has numbers and it also has words. So for step 1 of your practice, I very much recommend that you trace all the letters. This will really help you learn the shape of all the letters and also train your muscle memory. I recommend that you spend 10 to 15 minutes daily to practice these letters. Start with the A and then the B and then go all the way through the whole practice sheet. You probably want to do this for about a week until you feel really comfortable with it. And then step 2 means you will practice some of the letters, but you'll also start practicing freehand. And you pretty much do the same thing as in step 1. You start tracing the letters and then practice freehand and do this for 10 to 15 minutes every day, probably for about a week. And then we are carrying on to step 3, and this is where we're going to start practicing freehand much more. You see there's only 3 letters to trace and then you'll practice freehand all the way through. So after about 3 weeks, you should be quite comfortable with writing all these letters freehand on your iPad. And then of course, we are going to do the same exact thing with the uppercase alphabet as well. There is the same 3-step practice sheets. The first sheet has all the letters to trace. The second sheet has half the letters to trace. And then on the third step, there's only 3 letters to trace. And then you will be practicing mostly freehand. I always think it's really important to practice numbers as well, especially if you're writing addresses or birthdays. It's always handy to know how to write numbers as well. But then because I didn't want to leave the sheet all empty, I also added the weekdays and the months here as well, because if you're using a journal, it's quite nice to practice the days of the week and the months as well. So there's some extra practice here for you as well. You can get these practice sheets from my website. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below the video. They also come with a custom handwriting practice Procreate brush, which has been set up to work perfectly with the practice sheets. And in case you don't have the Procreate app, the download also comes with JPEG files that you can import into your favorite journaling app or even into the Notes app. And then just in case you might like to practice with pen and paper, of course you can also print the JPEG files. I'm actually very looking forward to this challenge. I'll be practicing every day and I'll be posting my updates both on Instagram but also here in the YouTube stories. So you can follow along and check my progress. And I really hope that you're going to join me in our practice as well. Let's see if we can really focus on our handwriting for the month of September, just in time for the holidays as well, so that we can write really nice handwritten cards this time. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And then I'm also going to bloop up another couple of videos where I'm going to show you how to practice your lettering on your iPad, so you can keep watching and you can keep learning. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.